Welcome to the Boston Barrister, Kevin Patrick Sieber, bringing you insights about your family and the world.
Welcome to the Boston Barrister. My name is Kevin Patrick Sieber. I'm located in Boston, Massachusetts. Today's episode is going to be all about All in the Family. All in the Family was a groundbreaking comedy. It lasted from 1971 to 1979. It won 22 Emmys and 4 Golden Globes. Now, this also spun out various types of shows, such as The Jeffersons, Maude, Good Times, Archie Bunker's Place, Gloria. What made All in the Family so incredible was that back then in the 1970s, it was cutting edge. It dealt with racism, bigotry, sexism, feminism, homosexuality, the Vietnam War, generational gaps, and oh so much more. My favorite episode where Archie Bunker was being his usual bigot, and he was talking about blacks and other types of individuals, and there was a cameo appearance by none other than Sammy Davis Jr. And at the end of the show, Sammy Davis Jr. gave Carol O'Connor, who of course was Archie Bunker, a big kiss on the cheek. And the look on Archie Bunker's face, or Carol O'Connor, was simply priceless. This episode was in season 2. If you want a good laugh, look it up. Main characters in All in the Family was Carol O'Connor, who played Archie Bunker, his wife, Jean Stapleton, who was Edith Bunker, and then there was Mr. and Mrs. Michael and Gloria Stivic. Gloria was Archie and Edith's daughter. Michael Stivic, played by Rob Reiner, was their son-in-law. And Archie and Rob Reiner would get into it all the time. Archie Bunker would insult Michael all the time and call him a meathead. Both Rob Reiner and his TV wife, Sally Struthers, were 23 years old in 1971. Rob Reiner and Gloria, his wife, Rob Reiner as Michael Stivic and Sally Struthers as Gloria Stivic, left the show in 1978. They looked to pursue other careers. Rob Reiner became a very famous director and producer of movies, a whole slew of movies. Rob Reiner's first movie was This Is Spinal Tap in 1984, followed by The Sure Thing in 1985, followed by Stand By Me in 1986. River Phoenix starred in this movie, along with Corey Feldman, Will Wheaton, Jerry O'Connell, and others. The next movie was in 1987 by Rob Reiner called The Princess Bride. Peter Falk starred in the role, amongst others. 1989, one of my favorite movies, When Harry Met Sally, starring, of course, Billy Crystal and also Meg Ryan. And I love the scene in the deli in New York called Cats. Next was Rob Reiner's movie called Misery, produced and directed in 1990. This earned Kathy Bates, who starred in the picture, an Oscar. Followed by, in 1992, one of my favorite all-time movies, A Few Good Men. I absolutely love the scene where Jack Nicholson screams at Tom Cruise, "You can't handle the truth!" And boy, is that not the truth in today's world. In 1994, the movie North, starring Bruce Willis, Elijah Wood, and other notables. This movie was followed by The American President, 1995, which starred Michael Douglas and Annette Bening, Martin Sheen, and Michael J. Fox, quite a starring cast. American President was produced and directed by Rob Reiner in 1995. 1996, Rob Reiner produced The Ghost of Mississippi, starring Alex Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, James Woods, and Michael Lerner, along with other notables. Starring Bruce Willis, Michelle Pfeiffer, Donald Sutherland, and also other notables. In 2003, Alex and Emma, starring Luke Wilson, Kate Hudson, Tom Selleck, and other notables. 2005, we produced Rumor Has It, starring Jennifer Aniston, as well as Kevin Costner, Shirley MacLaine, and other notables. 2007, one of my favorite movies, The Bucket List, starring Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman. In 2010, Flipped, starring Madeline Carroll, Alan McAuliffe, John Mahoney, and other notables. 2015, the semi-autobiography story of Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, called Being Charlie. Nick Robinson starred as Charlie. Charlie Sheen, Alex Wolff. The story, Being Charlie, was all about teenage addiction, which we would later find out was exactly why, unfortunately, it was such a tragedy in Rob Reiner's family. The next movie was LBJ, about Lyndon Baines Johnson, filmed in 2016, and it starred Woody Harrelson, Richard Jenkins, Bill Camp, Kim Allen, and other notables. The next movie was Shock and Awe, filmed in 2017, and it starred Woody Harrelson, James Marsden, Jessica Biel, Nina Savari, and other notables. In 2023, Rob Reiner took a little bit of a deviation. He did a documentary on Albert Brooks, Defending My Life, all about Albert Brooks, obviously. His final movie was in 2025, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, starring Christopher Guest, Rob Reiner, Michael McKean, June Raphael, and other notables. Rob Reiner's first marriage was to Penny Marshall, who starred in Laverne and Shirley, which ran from 1976 to 1983. Penny Marshall had one child from a previous relationship, which Rob Reiner adopted. And this daughter was Tracy Rayner, who went on to become an actress as well as a philanthropist with many meaningful charitable organizations she got involved with, just like her dad. Rob Reiner and Penny Marshall were married from 1971 to 1981 when they got divorced. There was no public information that either Rob Reiner or Penny Marshall had a prenup or postnup in their divorce. What is noted is how well they got along and how close they were after being divorced. And they were amicable and basically much of a role model as to how parents should split up and therefore still take care of their child, which again was Tracy Reiner. Rob Reiner then got married in 1989 to Michelle Singer, who became Michelle Singer Reiner. Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner had 3 children. First child was Jake, who was born in 1991. He today is in media and entertainment. The second child born to Rob and Michelle Singer Reiner was Nick Reiner, born in 1993. Nick Reiner was a screenwriter in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, Michelle Singer Reiner's third child was a girl, Romy. She was born in 1997. She's an actor, writer, producer, and an artist. December 14th, both Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were determined to be a homicide, killed in their Brentwood home in Los Angeles. They died of multiple traumatic stabbings. Their second son, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, was arrested on 2 counts of first-degree murder. Nick Reiner, who was the semi-biographical picture, Be Charlie, 2015, had a long history, unfortunately, of addiction to drugs. Combining this drug addiction with a long history of mental health problems, where he had been involved in much counseling. The plot thickens because in Massachusetts, we had the Karen Reed trial, which happened not once but twice, where the first trial of Karen Reed was deadlocked. The second, she was acquitted of the more serious crimes. And the reason I mentioned Karen Reed was that her attorney, who was from the California, Los Angeles area, was none other than Alan Jackson, who recently stepped up and became counsel for Nick Reiner. Alan Jackson was looking to pull another rabbit out of his hat, like he did in the Karen Reed trial. At the arraignment on January 7, 2026, suddenly Alan Jackson withdrew as counsel for Nick Reiner. Very little comments were made. He didn't speak to the media as he had so flamboyantly during the Karen Reed trial. This left many pundits scratching their head. Now Nick Reiner has a public defender on whom he will rest his hopes and innocence. I must caution everybody that in America, you're innocent till proven guilty. You have the right to remain silent and the right to remain innocent. And until he's guilty and found guilty by a jury of his peers, Nick Reiner is still innocent. And this right and presumption to be innocent comes from the greatest document perhaps ever written, the United States Constitution. And don't ever forget that it says, we the people.